Hi everyone. I hope you're having an amazing day today. This is officially day number 2, which means video number 2 for the month of April for my 30 videos in 30 days of just sharing with you. This is an opportunity for me to become a little bit more expressive myself, and this is an opportunity for both of us to really share and for you to share in what it is that I'm offering, and then also for me to receive what it is that you have to offer as well. And so in today's video, I'd actually like to tell you just a little bit of a story. And this is something that happened just a few days ago, but I thought it was really important, and hopefully you can gain some benefit from it as well. So I was experiencing this kind of tension pattern in my entire left side, and I could trace all the points that it went. It's almost like it created kind of this pattern. And so when I was talking to my wife about this, she came up with the beautiful inspiration of, why don't you draw it? Draw it and see what image comes from that. So I said, great. So I start to draw this, and I'm looking at it, and it's taking different shapes or different forms based on how I'm actually viewing it. So I flip it to the side and I flip it again, and all of a sudden it's like, for some reason, the direction of the image, it just really stood out to me at that moment. And what I decided to do was I decided to ask myself, what do I need to learn? What do I need to know from this pattern? And it wasn't just me feeling it, but now it was both feeling and looking at it. And sometimes what happens is, if we use more than one sense at a time, it can be really impactful as far as how we gain some understanding of something that we're trying to figure out, right? So it's almost like in our last video when we talked about affirmations, the difference between just saying something and actually feeling it, or maybe even reading the words, or even then listening as well, right? There's all these different levels of how we can use all of our senses together to then really amplify what it is that we're actually doing at that time. So for me, this was, now I'm feeling this pattern, I'm tuning into that energy field, and then I'm also looking at it. So it was creating something different. And so immediately it's like when I flipped that image and it just started to speak to me, and the two words that came to mind were, be colorful. And it was just like a moment of clarity, a moment of knowing. And so I wrote those words on the piece of paper, be colorful. And as I'm looking at that piece of paper, I'm almost looking at it saying, wait, is there a U in colorful? And my wife goes, well, I mean, if you're British, then yes, there is. And so we just start kind of laughing. And then all of a sudden, she looked at me and she said, you're missing you. And it was this moment of clarity, of coming to this understanding that this pattern is here as a representation for me to be more colorful. And part of the reason why it's there is because there's a part of me that's missing. And what that meant to me was, I'm not allowing myself to fully be present in my own life. And usually the way that that comes forth for me, maybe this is similar for you, is I don't play as much. Right? I'm a very expressive person. I like to be creative. I like to sing and to dance and create and write and move, and right? All of these different ways of just being silly and playful and fun. And for me, when I get really serious with life, that's when I start to then kind of shut off that creativity, that flow of just expressive, fun energy. And in that moment of us kind of having that experience together, it was just an opportunity for me to once again remind myself, and it was through the help of my wife, that just remind myself of bring more of my true self to my daily life and just watch what happens. Watch how being a little bit more playful, being a little bit more spirited, being a little bit more creative, being a little bit more spontaneous and fun, right? All these different ways that I can tune into that aspect of myself, how that then starts to impact all these other areas of life that I may be focusing a little bit more of my time and energy towards. And really what it's starting to then kind of bring forth is the fact that this is really helping, this time right now that we are all experiencing is really helping to kind of shape our foundation. Because the foundation is essentially starting to crumble so that we can rebuild that platform for ourselves. So I'm going to share the way that I am choosing to rebuild my foundation. I really like to think of the image that I have of myself as a child. Always being creative, always finding a new game to play, a new way to play it, a new way to express myself, whether it was, maybe acting out something, maybe it was putting on a little play for my family, maybe it was through a particular sport that I was playing, or maybe singing or dancing or playing music. It's a really big part of my life. And throughout the years, I've gone in phases of actually allowing myself to really express and really tune in to that creative aspect of who I know I really am. And for me, what tends to happen is when I go into my kind of logical thinking mind and I start to, quote unquote, try to figure out, we all know how that goes, right? All of these different aspects of life, sometimes that kind of pinches me off from letting just that ease, that joyful, that playful foundation to just really permeate my life experience on a day-to-day basis, so that when I do present myself to maybe some things that are a little bit more stimulating or challenging to my mind, or maybe really working on something, some specific goal or anything in life that I want to maybe achieve or accomplish, or whatever it is that I'm working towards at that time, I can do so in a way that is so playful. Even just talking about it, it just creates so much space within. It's like I can breathe easier, my body can move better, my mind is so clear because I'm already operating from a place of everything is okay. Everything is okay. And so hopefully this video can inspire you to tune into that playfulness, that creative force, the energy of who you really are, right? On those days where you can just tune into yourself, maybe it's days where you're, playing, maybe it's days where you're writing, maybe it's days where you're just watching somebody else create. Whatever it is, see if this can help really start to change the foundation of your daily life so that anything that you decide to do, you're doing it from a place of joy. You're doing it from a place of authenticity. You're doing it from a place of peace. You're doing it from a place of that childlike zest and wonder and passion. And no matter what choices you decide to then make, at least you're giving yourself the opportunity to really allow all of that divine energy that's flowing to you and through you every moment of every day to be expressed to the fullest of your ability right then and there. So hopefully you were able to gain something from this video. Be playful, be creative, just express for the sake of expressing. There's always somebody who needs to hear what it is that you have to say, or who would love to just watch you express and be you. So hopefully this was inspiring for you to operate from more of that authentic foundation. And I know from here moving on, that's going to be something that I start my day with. Really understanding if I'm allowing myself to be playful. Because in that state of being more playful, now I'm actually starting to open up the possibility for, ways to be creative. And that could be problem solving, creative ways. And that could be for something that has to do with expression, or maybe something that has to do with business or work or finances. There's no separation of anything that we're experiencing in life. It's all about the way in which we're choosing to then do anything. So I'm going to choose joy. I'm going to choose playfulness. I'm going to choose to smile and to just be me. And I really hope that you can do the same. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to sharing more videos in the future, and stay tuned for video number 3 tomorrow. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you soon. Bye.